Hi, Limit Break Overdrive with my first Final Fantasy video ever. So I think that's gonna be a longer one, so we're gonna jump right into it. This is gonna be a Final Fantasy VIII tier list for the Guardian Forces. Why Final Fantasy VIII? Because it was the first one I played. And I don't want to start out with rating all the games or mainline games, since some of them I played like a long time ago, so might do that later in fact. So I added MiniMog because for whatever reason it's not in the list. So we're gonna rate MiniMog too, and I took some notes so I don't forget anything. So first off, Alexander. Well, you get Alexander right at the end of this 2 after you beat Dia, and he's okay. I mean, you get Revive and Elemental Defense Junction ×4. It's the main things that he gives you, so would rate him as a pretty good or P good. Next we've got Bahamut. Bahamut, I think he's might be better than Alexander, but you get him later. Bahamut gives you ability ×4, which is awesome. Gives you Mug, but you already have Mug normally, but still, Mug is good. It gives you Auto Protect and Rare Item, which could be useful if you're trying to grind some items for whatever reason. So he's a homie. Next we've got Boko, which is the Chocobo summon in this game. You summon him using Kiesel Green. Fun fact, I never used this summon back in the days, because this game I played over and over again. It was the only game I had on the PS1 for quite a while. So here's a clip of what this summon does. So yeah, first time I ever summoned him was when I recorded this clip, in fact. And I mean, as much as I like Chocobos, it's not really good. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but the animation is cool. I mean, the animation changes with your level, I think. Like every 25 levels he gets a different animation. But yeah, he's not really that good. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So next we got Brothers. Brothers was my favorite when I was younger, but he's trash. Gives you HP bonus, which I mean is kinda okay if you wanna increase your base HP, but doesn't give you much apart from that. So yeah, maybe slightly more damage than the other summons early in the game, because his animation is slightly longer, so you can boost him more. But, I mean, I don't really like boosting, so yeah, not a good GF. Speaking of not a good GF, Carbuncle. Well, he's not great in fact, because he's giving you ability ×3, which is good. You get him at the end of disc 1, so a good upgrade. It gives you counter attack and auto reflect. I don't like auto reflect, but for those who do, you get it. But counter attack is nice. So yeah, but he's not great, because it just basically gives you reflect, so you can't heal using magic, and you still don't have recover at this time. So I don't like Carbuncle. Next up, we've got Cerberus. Well, this one's easy. In my opinion, it's the single one strongest GF in the game. First of all, when you summon him, he gives you triple. So you can summon Cerberus, the other character use triple, aura on everybody. third character use Holy War, everybody becomes invincible, and then you just spam limit breaks. All that because of Cerberus. Not bad. And on top of that, it gives you Speed Junction. It's the first one that gives you Speed Junction, which speed is awesome in this game. You get Status Defense Junction times 4, which again renders you almost invulnerable to status effects if you have the right magics. It gives you ability times 3, auto haste. It's the only GF that does so, unless later on in the game you play some cards, because the Kyros card can be redeemed for 3 accelerators, so you can teach 3 other GF auto haste. So again, but it's good, you get it on this too, so auto haste is pretty good. So he's beloved. He's top tier GF right there. Next up, Diablo. Again, not as good as Cerberus, but it gives you Mug early on in the game. But more importantly, Hank half and Hank none. So gives you the ability to avoid random encounters completely, which is something really good. And for players that like challenges, there's a more niche use to him. He gives you status Magic Refine, and early on in the game it's the only way you can get break, and with break magic you can still win fights by breaking your character so they get petrified, and they don't get XP but you get AP. So for people that likes challenges, you can do that too, but he doesn't need that to be top tier. It's already good. Next up is Doomtrain. Again, top tier. I mean, you're summoning Final Fantasy VI Phantom Train. Final Fantasy VI is my favorite, so to me, that's enough for him to be top tier. But other than that, more seriously, he gives you Elemental Defense and Status Defense Junction times 4. You get both of these with this one. It gives you Auto Shell and Junk Shop. So you no longer have to go into a town to create upgrade weapons, which is really useful because you don't want to go back to town, and on this 4 you can't go back to town. So pretty awesome train. He's quite hard to get though. If you don't have any guides or anything, figuring this shit out quite hard. You need to get the right items and then use the ring. You need to find the ring because you can miss the ring. So yeah, I don't even know if there are any clues in the game that tells you what to do. So but yeah, still pretty good. Next, Hidden, who is normally the one you get last. I would personally put it in terrible, but I say not great. People would say, well, why? He's the strongest. True. He's the strongest GFs. He can do, I think, up to 60,000 damage, but it takes 2 minutes to summon and doesn't give you any good abilities really. I mean, he gives you Speed Junction, but at this point in the game you probably already have it with Speed Junction scrolls, so. But yeah, strongest damage output, and 60,000 damage is really not too shabby. It's good in this game, really good. But I'd rather spam limit breaks, to be fair. I mean, Christus has Shockwave Pulsars that can do like 20,000, I think. I mean, Squall with Renzu Koken and Lionheart. If you get Lionheart, it's like, is it 17 hits, 18 hits with max damage plus the Renzu Koken? I mean, it's bonkers. So, and it's a pretty slow GFs, and you can't really make it faster like Upgrade Affinity. It's really slow. You need there's an item, Love G, something like that. It's the most effective way in his case. So, not my favorite, but strong damage output. So, to me, it's a not great. Odin. He's pretty badass, but gotta be real, he's trash because you can't summon him. He just randomly decides to appear or not, and it's instant kill. So could be nice if you're facing a Marlboro and you're not ready. So you're getting a chance to get Marlboro tentacles as a drop, which you need. But if you're trying to draw magics, like blue dragons, or is it blue dragon or exit dragon, you can draw shells, which are good to summon, to junction as elemental defense junction magic. And he just appears. Oh, finally, exit dragon. He appears and kills it. You're like, yeah, okay, gotta find another one. So to me, this is annoying more than anything. But he looks badass. And he's easy to get to. You just do some puzzles in the tower and he doesn't even attack you. But not really that useful. But it's a nice addition to the game. It's something unique. So we're gonna give him that. So yeah, I mean, maybe not great, because sometimes you get into a fight you don't want to and he appears and saves the day. So yeah, let's give him not great, but lowest of not great. And Phoenix, terrible summon. You need an item, Phoenix Pinion, and it's hard to get. Get one for the Shumi tribe quest. There's another one, but you can refine some with 3 Mega Phoenix. So, but basically he does what he always does. You summon him, he brings your dead party members back to life with 1/8 of their health. I think I'm right, 1/8 of their health, and attacks with fire damage. So, not really good, not that much use. And fun fact, he can't even miss, because in the endgame, in Ultimacy's castle, all of your abilities are sealed. And if resurrection is sealed and you summon Phoenix, even this summon will miss and your characters will stay dead. So, fun fact. Gilgamesh, terrible. Maybe I hate him more than Phoenix. I mean, Gilgamesh in Final Fantasy V was great. In 8 though, not good, because he does basically what Odin does. Can come up at any time, but he does not only insta kill, because he's got more than one sword, so he can do Excalibur, Zentetsuken, Excalibur, and another one I think, but I'm not sure. And Excalibur does a good amount of damage. Zentetsuken kills, unless it's a boss, but Excalibur does 1 damage. So that blows. So yeah, so far, not that many good summons. And in this game, summons are not really good because they're summoned, but because they get your characters stronger with junctions and abilities. So, Ifrit. He looks badass. I have to put it in pretty good, but he's almost not great in my opinion, because gives you strength bonus. So if you want to increase your base strength every time you level up, fine, you can do that if you want to max out, but there's a better way to do it. So, but it gives you ammunition refine, which I think is the only way you can get pulse ammos, which are needed to get Lionheart sword and are pretty good for Irvine's limit break if you for whatever reason like Irvine, which I don't, but they're pretty strong ammo. So just because of that, he barely makes it into pretty good. Next up, the guy that's staring at you since the beginning of the video that is behind me, Cactuar. That guy's a homie. First of all, he's the first GF you get that can break damage limit, even though he won't break damage limit the first, but it's the first one you get that can, because he deals 10,000 damage per 10 levels. So at level 100 he's gonna deal 10,000 damage. It's 1,000 damage per 10 levels, sorry, but yeah, you get my point. But it's not really because of that I like him. Well, it's a Cactuar, so I mean, yeah, I like him, but he's got some use. I just want to make sure I'm not forget anything, so I'm gonna look at my note. First of all, he's got a big old stash when you fight him. Big mustache. I mean, that's enough. Top tier. But yeah, more seriously, he's getting you Luck Junction, pretty good. Initiative, gives stat bonuses for every stats. So with this one, if you manage to stay low level, you can start leveling up with ability times 4. You can increase 4 abilities per level. It gives you HP, strength, magic. It gives everything, vitality. So useful for that if you want to min-max your characters. Auto potion, I mean, that's okay, but by the time you get it, not really in my opinion. So pretty good. I mean, I even think I like him more than Bahamut. Even though Bahamut's badass, I think this one might have more uses. Leviathan gives you recover, which is pretty good because you don't need to use your magic, which you don't want to use in this game because the more you have junction, the stronger your stat gets. And it gives you auto potion in a state, in a time in the game where it's somewhat useful. So pretty good, but not good, pretty good. I'm kind of on the fence, but yeah, I think I would say pretty good. Mumba. Well, Mumba I never get to use, so I told myself I will get a clip for the video. No, because in the remaster on the PS4 you can get it, and I could never get it because I'm in North America. In North America on the PS1 you couldn't get Mumba or MiniMog because we didn't have the Pocket Station here. So I looked up online how to get it, and you need Angelo Search. Told myself, yeah, fine, I have Angelo Search. It's so fucking random. I'm gonna wait for the next playthrough when I play the game again, because I'm gonna leave the PS4 all night online so I can get it. Because basically, when you're in a fight and you have Angelo Search unlocked, every 30 seconds you do nothing, it gives a tick to Angelo Search and other things. So the more things you have unlocked, the fewer chances you get for Angelo Search to trigger, so that's why I'm not doing it. And there's an enemy you can basically confuse and he's not attacking you, so you can just go take a walk. And slowly over time, Angelo Search is gonna trigger, he's gonna find items, it's random. If you get a Mog's Amulet, you get MiniMog. If you get another item, which I forgot the name of, you can get a Mumba. A Mumba does good amount of damage, so just because of that, it's not a trash. I would say not great. Basically, he brings the target's HP to 1, or if the target has more than 9,999 HP. Whoa, wait, did I say it wrong? No, yeah, if the target has more than 9,999 HP, he deals that amount of damage. So it's max damage, but it's not great. So I'm not gonna use that category because with my research, but pretty lame. Speaking of lame, look up who's next. Wind Summon GF. No. There. It gives you speed junction and initiative. That's all that's going for him. And I don't really like the summon too, so then you get it on disc 2 in Balam. You draw it from Fusion. And I never use it anyway. I use it, I mean, just because I want to see the animation, but then it's just gathering dust. Not good. Quetzalcoatl. I would say he's a homie and close to being beloved. I mean, he doesn't deal a good amount of damage and he barely has any abilities, but the abilities he gives you, wow. He gives you card. So you can turn any monster into a card. But more importantly, once you unlock card, you can unlock card mod, which is the ability you need to get as strong as you can in the game, because you can refine cards into items you cannot get any other way. Like for example, Kyros gives you accelerators, which in turn gives you auto waste ability. Selfie's card can be turned into an item that gives you elemental defense junction ×4, so you get 3 of those, so everybody gets max defense junction. Things like that. Gilgamesh's card gives you Holy Wars, which renders the whole party invulnerable, so I mean, yeah, he's beloved. Even better than Doomtrain. Pretty good summon, and you wouldn't guess that because he's the first one on the list, but he's a good one. Next up is Shiva. Nothing to say about it. Refining ice magic, but who cares? That's a shame, because she's a staple of the series, but she's not good. Siren, I mean, not good. Status defense junction ×2. Early on, it's the only, not only way, but first way you get it. And she gives you move find, which really, who uses that? But you can see draw points, could be useful. And we're finishing with a strong one. Oh no, not finishing, because we still have MiniMog, but Tonberry. He's awesome. First of all, this is my favorite animation. You just walk slowly towards the enemy and shivs. But I like him. But he gives pretty good abilities. He gives you initiative. And the shop's abilities, which are Haggle, Sell High, Familiar, and Call Shop. Basically, you get lower prices, you can sell for more. And shops have rare items, I think. And you can call shop any shop you visited in the game, anywhere, anytime. Which is especially useful on this 4, since every town is locked. So he's the only way you can get remedy pluses and shit like that too. So because you need to refine item, I think. No, it's not the only way, but you use him to buy items to then refine. So I mean, he's almost mandatory. And we're finishing with MiniMog, and I'm gonna put him in the pretty good category because he's the only one that does what he does. Basically, what MiniMog does, you summon him in battle. And first of all, you need to have taught a GF MiniMog ability using the Mog's Amulet. You can get with Angelo Search on the remaster on the PS4, or using the Pocket Station on the Japan version of the game back on the PS1. But once you do that and you summon MiniMog, he brings every fallen GF back to life and heals them, which is the only way you can do that during battle. So this is why I say pretty good. And the only use for that in the endgame, in my opinion, would be, for example, you're facing Ultimacia or Omega Weapon, and you know, big attacks coming. So you summon GFs you don't have affinities with, so they're slow. And they're tanking the attack for you, they die. So you can do that a couple of times and then summon MiniMog, bring them back to life, and keep doing that all day. So just for this reason, since it's the only way you can do that, I say he's pretty good. And that concludes the tier list for the GFs. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm completely wrong? Tell me why. Be polite, of course, but I want to know which GF is your favorite and why. So, thanks for watching, everybody.